Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ignite with Sandi. This is a fabulous program that we are bringing to you by Celestial, which is a fabulous magazine out of the UK. It's all about work life balance for women. We have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, and we have a YouTube channel. So, before you leave us, you got to check out all of our social media platforms because that's where you'll find a lot of information. So let's get back to Ignite with Sandy. So what's that all about? So all of us have those little things, glimmers inside us and all those little sparks inside us, but very seldom do we ignite those and just flare up and look our best, feel our best, speak our best, and do our best. And that's what this platform is all about, Ignite with Sandy. And I have the opportunity of interviewing amazing women. And when I do the background, exchanging of information with them, I'm so ignited, I'm on fire. And I can assure you that by the end of this particular episode, you are going to be on fire as well, because it's all about how comfortable we are in ourselves and how can we be a better version of ourselves. And this time it's a very relevant topic because it's our body image. Now, most of us know that we are all the time being told what to do, how to look, what to wear. And unless we do all of those things and we put into those boxes, we are not accepted. And I think that's a load of BS. Yes, heard me right. You know why? Because each one of us is an individual. We have our own genetics, we have our own body mass index, we have our own bone structure. So we can't really be put into categories. But that's what's happening. So we are an hourglass, we are a triangle, we are an inverted triangle, we are an apple, we are a pear. What about just being us? And then you have this fitness industry that tells you you are too fat. You need to lose weight. And irrespective of our body structure, the density of our bones, we're supposed to just fit in. And we get miserable and we are stressed out trying to get to that particular body mass index, which is a load of nonsense because it's always calibrated to make you feel fat no matter what you do. So just don't think about it. Don't even go in that direction. What I would like to find out, and that's why we're going to be talking to Mira, is what does she have to think about all of this? Because she's gone on her journey and she has experienced different things in life and has come out to be this glowing, confident woman that you see in front of you today. So, without further ado, I'd like Mira to introduce herself. Mira,
Hi,
please.
hi everyone, and it's Mina Kumari, Sandi.
Yes, sorry, I get you mixed up with another lady. Sorry. Yes,
No problem,
Mina. Sorry.
no problem whatsoever. Hi everyone, my name is Mina Kumari, and I am a certified body confidence coach. So what I do is I help women to love their bodies from the inside out. So I get you to look at yourself naked in the mirror and love every inch of your body, your lump, bump, scar, because everything has a story. So that's who I am. I'm a 55-year-old woman with two incredible grown-up independent women, daughters. And sadly, about 19 months ago, I lost my husband to leukemia. But that doesn't stop who I am because my journey, my life still continues. And that's what I wanted to, this is what I do. I teach other women to say, do you know what? Life is for living. Doesn't matter shape, size, whatever your circumstances, you've got to live life to the max.
Okay, so Mina, what I'd like to ask you is you shared something very personal and very emotional about losing your husband. So I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
I want you to tell us when you were that really young person and he came around to have a look, for the prospective bride, why did he choose you? What did he tell you?
Do you know what? I was 17 when we met. He was only 20. And the one thing he said to me, he goes, it was your smile. And he goes, that's what I fell in love with. And he goes, I saw you from a distance. And he goes, out the whole crowd, he goes, my eyes were just fixated on you and nobody else. And I didn't even know he was the one that's coming to see me. And I was like, with my sister, and I'm like, cool, he's all right. Who is he? She goes, I think this is the guy who's come to see you, and I've been prepped by your dad. But I think that's probably what we just set eyes on each other, and it pretty much is like, cool, we love each other.
Yes. And over the years, as you shared with me before, you felt that you started putting on weight, and there was a big change when you went to Singapore. So, can you share that with us?
Yes, certainly. So well, I was a size, when I first met my husband, I was a size 10 or 12, and I was considered fat because I didn't fit in the norm with the families. I was, I wouldn't say I was always a skinny girl, but I was, size 10 or 12, I would say back in the 80s was average. Then again, I was considered as being dark in complexion, but I think he was told that to say, she's a little bit dark, but he's going, yeah, but I like her. And I only found this out after we got married. He never told me any of this beforehand. And so what happened, my journey was through my pregnancy, you think your first pregnancy, you eat for two, just ballooned. And then I had a few complications with my first child, like she was late, and then the delivery was a bit traumatic. And then what happened was I ended up with postnatal depression. Obviously, we know in our cultures, it doesn't exist. Back in the 80s, we've just been told, oh, just get on with it. We've all been through it. It's nothing new. So obviously with the postnatal depression, my body weight just fluctuated. I had my second daughter 5 years later. And in my after I had my first child, I just felt unworthy because I just obviously didn't know what it was. And all the doctors want to do is give you antidepressants. And I didn't want to go on antidepressants because I've seen people go in and see how it changes people's lives. So I just continued with it. And you get to a stage where you just don't like who you are. And
yeah, sorry, darling, to interrupt, but I would just like you to talk about this depression, because a lot of us actually do experience that at some time, and there's some sort of a social stigma. Oh, she's in depression, or she's depressed, and so you try to camouflage that by pretending to be this other person that you not really are. So is that something that you felt and that you talk about these days?
100%. My internal and my external were not matching. On the external, everyone's thinking, oh, Mina, the bubbly person, always smiling. But inside, I was just slowly dying of who I was meant to be, or who I was. My personality from the inside was not who I was on the outside. I do touch on this as a bit of, I did a bit of self-harming just to feel myself, to say I am real. Obviously, I was very clever in disguising, because obviously I know the stigma attached to postnatal depression, self-harming. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was 20 when I had my first child. What does a 20-year-old know? Nothing. So and then you live in an extended family and you just carry on with life. And I think that was the conflict with me, where my internal and my external did not. And that's where I really struggled with who I was. And I lost who I was.
And did that sort of start you on this journey of sort of putting on weight? Was it connected in any way?
Yes, basically, yeah. So then I lost the weight. Then I had my second daughter at 25. And again, there was glimpse of, I had another child. I had this new one come along. And again, there was a little bit of depression, but I knew what to expect this time around. So do you know what? As women, we can become amazing actresses without going to stage school, without going anywhere. So you just become, who you think you want, who you see or what other people want to see. So you become this person what everybody else wants to see, and you forget who you are. You know, again, with me and my husband, you know, obviously with any marriage, there's that roller coaster of not understanding each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, you go through that kind of stigma as well. And over the time, then if we go forward, in 2015, we got an opportunity to move to Singapore.
Okay.
We moved in January 2016, we moved to Singapore. And you know what? I don't know if it's just going on that plane, it was just him and I just became me. I just became who I wanted to become. And he said to me, I think within 6 months of being there, he goes, I've got my Mina back. And he did, and he goes, you're that girl when I saw you at age of 17, when we got married, you're that girl again. And he actually called me that girl again. And I just felt, oh my God, because one, I was not competing with anybody. I was being true to who I am, living my life. You know, I was very lucky not to be this expat. I was lucky to be the expat wife. I gave up my job in banking after 25 years because I'd never had any time off. And boy, did I live it up, as you know what Singapore's like. So made a lot of friends. And then what happened was, I'm a voluptuous. I like to call myself voluptuous. So I'm a voluptuous woman, and there's a lot of women from India and everywhere in Singapore, and they just love the way I dressed. Because I was coming back to the UK, they were just saying, "Oh, can you get us some clothes?" And I'm like, "Ooh, okay." They like how I dress. They like how I speak. Is there something there? So then I made a really good friend who was a stylist already. She goes, "Mina, why don't you do this? You'll be amazing." And that's where my journey started of becoming a personal stylist. And then I did colors as well. So your color reflects your personality. I'm wearing all black today, but I've got injection of color because that's who I am. And that's what I like.
Okay, so I just want you to focus a little bit and tell us what were you going through when, for example, you went from a size 10 to a 12 to a 14, when you went shopping and you went looking for something nice to wear, where did you find it, or did you find it at all?
So, you know what, in the UK, we're kind of okay with the plus size clothing, but again, they were frumpy. You know, you want to dress, you know, the clothes are more like dress like your grandma or your mother. But for me, it was just add my personality to it. But the clothes were really what I call dowdy and just not stylish. So you had to add accessories or something. And do you know what the funny thing was? When I went to Singapore, that's when it really hit me, because as soon as I walked into the shop, this woman's just going to me like this. And I'm like, and I knew what was going to be. She goes, we don't have your size. And I'm like, not shopping for me. And I'm like, and that's the first time ever that hit me, thinking, wow, wherever you go in the world, size really does matter. And I actually felt really rubbish from the inside. I'm like, wow, okay. But, you know, then coming back to the UK, I was just really conflicting with myself. Like, you know, the clothes, it's like, especially with the Asian wear, trying to go and find Asian clothes to fit you. I used to come back in tears because it's like, oh, madam, we have plus size. Do you know what the size was? Size 14.
What?
14 or 16, and I'm a size 18. Madam, we have plus size. We do big clothes. And I'm like, you know, you're trying to put this over your head and it's kind of stuck. It's stuck here, or your head doesn't go through, or once it's on, it doesn't come off. But, you know, finding clothes, I used to hate shopping.
Okay, so talking about sizes and trying to shove ourselves into something really slinky. What do you think about Spanx?
Oh my God, don't. Been there, done it, got the t-shirts and hated. I hate them, absolutely hate them, because it just literally sucks you in. You go out, you can't drink, you can't eat. All you want to breathe. All you want to do is just like throw up, basically, and just stand there like this because you can't move. And I don't know, Sandi, I hate those things. You know, I think back in the early 90s, late 90s, Spanx and stuff like that were not made for voluptuous women. It was people with a little bit of, who needed a little bit of a tuck.
Yeah, I think basically what happens is all these things are created because somebody has got a certain image of what we should look like, right? What we should, how we should be perceived. So it doesn't matter if you have to squeeze yourself in or squish yourself in and not breathe for the next 4 hours and end up having gas.
Oh God, do you release or what? One throws her off.
Okay, and for what? I don't understand this, and then I generally go to the lingerie section in a store in the UAE. We have a lot of international brands, and I'm looking at all of these things called body shapers. And I'm like, they're not body shapers. They just restrict your breathing. They don't allow you to sit. You're just supposed to stand and pose. I mean, why would anybody want to go through that? I don't understand.
Darling, it's to fit into society. That's what it is. Because everyone's expecting you to look a certain way.
Yeah.
If you walk into a room and you're different, then it's like, are you meant to be here?
Yes, very true. Very judgmental.
Oh,
Extremely judgmental. Yes.
100%.
And so now, since we've looked at all the emotional stuff that you went through and you sort of came out of it, and what made you start doing these classes and this coaching, etc., that could help other women?
So basically, when I was doing the styling and the coloring, when I was looking at a woman, she looked amazing on the outside, but do you know what? I was expecting that twinkle in the eye to say, wow, I look amazing. But it wasn't. I didn't see that. And I'm like, there's something deep down inside. And I'm one of these, if I see something, I want to know why. So my thing was, why are women feeling that? Why? Then I started looking at myself thinking, yeah, I look great on the outside. If I take my own example, I wasn't feeling good in the inside. I looked amazing on the outside because I know I always did. And I always felt amazing. But it wasn't resonating with me. Why these women? So I took my own example, and then I managed to find a course where I certified as a body confidence coach, and it taught me how to look at a body from the inside out in terms of all the lumps, bumps, scars. They all tell a story, right? You know, when I look at my scars now, I'm like, my stretch marks, I'm like, 2 kids have come out of this.
Yes.
You know, they've stretched my body to the max, and then, you know, to shrink it back. I didn't exercise. I wasn't a gym buddy. I used to go to the gym. I did the yo-yo dieting, and I'm like, what I did, I could see in these women. So I'm like, right, okay, I want to go. Yes, I can dress you, make you good, look good, but I want to get into the inside. I want you to start thinking about when, how, what made you feel this way. And everyone's got a story. And you know what? It's not what you feel. It's other people's insecurities that put into you, and you made it your reality. And that's what I did. And this is what I would say 90% of my clients have taken somebody else's thought process and made it their own about themselves.
It's really sad. So for anybody watching us today, what would you like to give them some pointers about body confidence? How can they get started?
My first thing would be, get yourself a little mirror. Okay? Get yourself a little mirror. If you're not used to a big mirror, I'm not going to say to you, go and get a big mirror and look at yourself naked. Start looking at yourself, your eyes, your nose, your ears. Start slowly observing your own self and think about, what does each one mean? Why have you got the eyes? Why is your nose like that? Everything's in proportion to your face. You know, when I see people wanting to do plastic surgery, fine, each to their own, but there's a lot more to it as well.
Yes.
And that's what I say, to start small. Look at yourself, look at your own story and your journey.
Okay. So when you're talking about looking at our face in a small mirror, right, and we are honest enough to know, like, what are our so-called flaws. For example, my one eye is smaller than the other. My face is slightly out of whack, and I know that very well. So when you're talking about body confidence and your face and whatever, what role does makeup play? And the reason I'm asking you that question is because there are a lot of makeup artists there who do up your face and then you don't recognize yourself.
Exactly.
And then when you go out dressed like that, and then when people see you after maybe a couple of days in a supermarket or whatever, they don't recognize you.
Uh,
So what do you think about that?
See, look, I don't have problem with makeup. I don't have problem with makeup artists or anything. But what I would say to the individual having this done, it's okay for the day. It's okay for an event. But you know what? Tell your makeup artist to make you look like you and not an image that you've bought or they think you should look like, because you're not yourself again. Again, we're masking our feelings. So I'm saying to the individual, have makeup, but be you. Don't try and be somebody else. And one thing I will say to all the audiences, anywhere anyone I speak to, is like, accept you as you are. Honestly, and that's so powerful. Accepting you as you are. It doesn't matter size, color, shape. It's you. You are here for a reason. There's more beyond how you look.
Yes, quite true. And I think sometimes people feel guilty, especially women feel guilty about self-love. It's like being selfish, self-centered, egoistic, narcissistic, all those kind of things, come into your mind. So how do you help people or women deal with that?
There's nothing wrong in loving yourself. There's a way. Why you put so much time and effort nurturing other people as women?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what society, because I cross loads of communities. Okay, it doesn't matter where you come from. Guess what? As a child, as a female girl, you were told you were going to belong to somebody else. You are the nurturing type. So you know what? It's all that's been drummed into us. And I'm saying it's okay to be us. It's okay to take time for us. It's okay to say no. Learn the art of no. So a tip is stand in front of the mirror and practice saying no.
Yes, very powerful word and can be used in a very positive way for yourself.
100%. And I'd also stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you. I like you. You are the powerhouse of this place you're living in. You are the woman who's meant to be. So do you know, it's self-affirming words for yourself to accept you. Because you know what if you don't accept you, how the hell do you get other people to accept you?
Exactly.
If you don't self-love, if you don't take care of your body, because guess what I always say is, your body is your best friend. Do you know what? People come and go in your life. Your children will come and they will go. Your husband will come and he'll go. Guess what? Your body is your temple. And that one person, I say, treat your body as your best friend, because there's no other best friend than your own body. And once we start saying that to ourselves and affirming it, you know what? You'll have a better relationship. Yo-yo dieting, food. Do you know this is all emotional?
Correct.
It's all emotional, right? We eat, we abuse our body. Like happy times, let's go and eat and drink. Sad times, let's have some chocolate, let's have ice cream, let's get all the calories in because that will make me feel better. So cushy gum, we eat and we abuse our bodies.
Yes, quite true. Because I was just going to ask you about this emotional eating that women indulge in. What exactly is that, and what can you say to these women who perhaps finding shelter or something, to compensate for something that's happened around them or to them or whatever. And this emotional eating is like, I need to eat this, I need to eat that, I need to feed my feelings. That I hear that a lot.
Can I just say,
we
don't need to do anything. We don't need to do. The word need shouldn't be in your vocabulary. Do you know what? There are times, eat, but do you know what? Have a little bit, portion control. If you feel the urge, I feel not great about myself today, have that chocolate. But you know what? Rather than going for the king size, have a little bit. Do not deny yourself of anything. The more you deny yourself, the more you want. It's like a child. When you tell a child, don't do it, what they're going to do? They'll do it. So We are the child. Do you know what? I just say, think about yourself as a 5-year-old child. When you were born, when you were 5 years old, we had no inhibitions. We didn't know what fat was. We didn't look at, does my bum look big in this? Do we have smaller boobs? You know, we didn't have any of that. So get yourself back into that 5-year-old child's body again and love that. Because that, and dance, do you know what? Before I came on, my thing is I dance. Yeah, you just shake it all out. And I'm not the smallest person. I just put on really powerful music that resonates with me. And then I just shake it all out. Do that once a day. Just do that once a day and see how you feel. Whatever music you like. Or even if you don't like to shake it all, sway. Your body, you know, the endorphins will start releasing and you'll start feeling better.
Yeah. You know, coming to talking about food and, you know, in self-indulgence and, you know, emotional eating, etc. On the other side, I want to just touch a little bit about women's health, right? And so we all know many of us have passed the menstruation and now we're in the pause state. The reason why I'm saying pause is because unfortunately everything even to do with us is always connected to the male. So we are a female. We have menses. We have menstruation, and then we have menopause.
Exactly.
It's like it's nothing to do with me. It's all to do with them. So talking about the time when when we have this change in life, how important is it you feel that women should go for regular medical checkups at least once a year? Is that
100%? And do you know what? The other thing I always say is like, do you know what? If you don't feel your body, and it is all to do with health, okay? If you don't shut your eyes and feel your body, if something's a foreign body's on your body, you'll never know if you don't touch your body. If you don't feel your body from top to toe, if there's something not right, how are you going to know? And you wonder why you're feeling rubbish. Oh, menopause.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on that cycle, so I haven't come out. I haven't gone in. I'm kind of there, and it's some days it surfaces, some days it's not. But you know what? Be kind to yourself. Go and get yourself checked out. Do you know what? If there's days that you feel like you can't get out of bed, it's okay. Just be kind to yourself. If you don't want to go out and be with a whole bunch of people who don't make you feel good, don't go out with them. And it's all emotional again. You know, it's all in our head that we have to be doing this. Do you know what? So through my bereavement, I've lost so many people. And do you know what? It's the right time to lose those people in my life because they're no longer serving me the right way. And it's okay to do that. As women, we feel that we have to be with everybody, and that affects our health. And that affects our menopause, our mental health.
Quite true. And you made a very valid point right now when you said you shouldn't be with people that don't serve you.
100%.
Yes, that's a very powerful statement, and I think anybody who will be listening to us, who's listening to us right now, should take note of that. So, can you just elaborate a little bit about, you know, don't serve you?
Okay, so basically, you know, we all have friends. We all have, say, 5 friends, okay? They're all going to be very, very different. What do they bring for you? Are they draining you? Are they just ask, take? What are they giving back? What are they saying to you? Mina, how are you feeling today? What can I do for you? You know, it's just like, it's okay to say no. Again, the art of saying no. I don't fancy going out today. Even with family, whether it's family, friends, acquaintances, work, no one's telling you to do it. We are so conditioned to say, okay, we're like that, you know, that Jack in the Box. Yeah, I'll go. You know, we just kind of jump to, yes, we don't think. We have to stop, pause, and think, if I go out, I feel rubbish about myself, the way I look. And this is how I used to feel. I was always a fat friend, token fat friend. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't want to be around people, even with family. Do you know what? I get told by family, Mina, if you do yoga, you will lose your belly. Mina, you're so pretty. If you just lost a little bit of weight, you'd look amazing. And I'm 55. Go away, people. I don't need to lose weight. I know what my health is. So again, saying no to people is okay. Be comfortable to say no, because your health affects your mental state will affect your health.
Correct. Very true.
Yeah.
Extremely true. Yeah.
It's
And
clear.
so, sometimes when you go for a medical checkup and then you have to go through all those calibrated things that tell you you're not that healthy. And if you just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you'll be like super, and you come back and see me in 6 months and I'll make sure that you continue to be super, those kind of things. And because it's coming from somebody who is medically qualified, we tend to fall for it. So if we're in that way of thinking, that stage in our life where we're looking for answers, we're looking for
Yeah.
experts to tell us what to do, how would you handle that when people ask you, like, but they said I should do this, and so and so said I should do this, and they're the experts. So how far should we really be looking at those experts, and how would you tell them to deal with that?
The medical people are going to absolutely hate me for this. But what I would say is journal how you feel. Journaling is your best friend. Every single day, either write down what you've eaten. How do you feel? What did that day serve you? What are you grateful for? A lot of it's how we see ourselves. The medical people, do you know what? Again, do you know what? The doctor put me on some diet pills years ago because I don't like the way I looked. And they didn't do anything for me apart from being on the toilet 24/7. It did, do you know, it did feel better. So it doesn't matter whether you're plus size, you're small, you're skinny, just look at who you are. Why are you feeling this way? And I'm not saying if there's something medically wrong with you, if the doctors are saying, whether it's your cholesterol and stuff like that, diet, exercise, sleep, do you know the basics? Think about what our grandmothers and everyone.
Common sense.
Grandmothers back in the years, they're living till 90, 100. Somebody I know recently, somebody passed away at 109, still mobile. So why was it, the processed food? Take a step back. What's going inside your body? What are you eating? Who are you surrounding yourself with? The whole exterior environment plays a havoc on your body. And if you just for 6 months, change the way you look at yourself, the way you feel, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you drink, I bet you, unless it's something medically wrong, you'll be a different person.
Yes, quite true. Because
honestly,
I had a friend a couple of years ago who was quite chubby,
yeah,
and it was a man actually, and he had a friend who was very much into tennis, and it was like, I have to play my tennis and I have to do this, and always telling my friend that he was, he's so fat and why don't you do something to yourself and all that kind of stuff. And then the guy who was so particular about his exercise and all of that died of a heart attack.
look,
And the other one is still around.
I know. Do you know what? I just think that, again, I keep saying this happens to men and women, but whether you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy.
Quite true.
If you're voluptuous like I am, I can be healthy. Do you know what people say to me? They give me a few diagnoses. I must have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. What's it? Oh, must be diabetic. And I'm like, I'm none of those. Or your cholesterol must be high. I don't have any of that. Yes, I'm slightly overweight, but do you know what? I can walk, I can breathe, I can do 10K, 5K walks. I'm okay. And it doesn't really matter. Everyone's metabolism, I'm not medically trained in any way, but all I can tell you by what I see with people, it doesn't really matter what size. As long as your internals organs aren't compressed, you can breathe, you get out there. A lot of this is all down to mental. You think about what social media is doing to people. Who's telling you have to be like this?
Yes, quite true. The other thing which I find extremely disturbing is when they sometimes on the news, in the media, you will see photographs of women who are emaciated, and their bones are showing, and
Yeah.
they're from what is referred to as a third world country. Like they're malnutrition
Yeah.
and they're this and that. Okay, and so poor thing. And then on the other hand, you see in a fashion magazine a
Oh,
woman who's just as anorexic, right? But she's fashionable and she's
exactly.
accepted, and she's like, wow, like we need to be like her. And, she's the best model and she's in demand, and every fashion house wants her. So, what exactly are we doing to women's images?
What are we doing to
I
women's
understand.
minds? What are we doing to women's minds?
Exactly.
And it's, do you know what? It stems from very young. So if your children are seeing what you're doing, if you're not eating properly,
Yes.
what are we, generationally, we're bringing it down to our children
Yes.
who live in a society. So, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes have a detox on social media. It's not real. It's really not real. I went to Paris Fashion Week a few years back. I can't remember what show it was. We were sitting on the front row. Do you know what? I saw this woman walk past me. When you're seeing it on photograph, they look amazing. But when you're seeing them walk past you, I could see their heart thumping. I'm like, do I never ever want to be that? I'd rather be who I am. Because even, do you know, the look on their face, then they can't eat. When again, I'm going to compare myself. I did a catwalk recently. I'm like, I floated on this catwalk.
Yes.
And I felt just as much as $1 million like this other woman would have felt on a skinny woman, but I was well fed in the back, and I felt good coming out. And again, the images, it doesn't matter. This is what we need to get as a society. If you see somebody, call people out to say, don't say fat, don't look at her, but it all starts with us, right? We kind of like, we get the side glance. We've all done it. The side glance, like, what is she wearing? Someone slightly plumpy, or someone, even if you're skinny, sometimes the clothes don't sit right. Even skinny women find it difficult to find clothes. When you're talking about trying to find clothes for a plus size woman, the skinnier ones find it difficult as well, because do you know what? They have to have things tailored because it doesn't sit right on the shoulders. Trousers are falling off. So it's the whole body image. So it's not just voluptuous or plus size women, it's body in general. That's what I'm saying. Whatever body you've got, you are that body. It's your body. Treat it as your best friend. It doesn't matter where you come from. So many societies, some people like extremely bigger women societally, and I think we touch on when we had a conversation how modestly people cover, and you could look glamorous and you can float
Absolutely.
and glow and you
Quite
can
true.
look amazing. It doesn't matter. Age has nothing to do with it. Looks,
Quite
your
true.
size has nothing to do with it, right?
It's you, right? Yeah.
100%. This is what I'm trying to get to people. It's you.
Okay, so give me 5 takeaways that our audience who is watching us can say, okay, these are 5 things I can do, and if I need more, I can go to Mina.
100%. Okay. One thing I will always say, start journaling your emotions. It's a really good start. And the other thing is, every day, just be grateful for who you are and what you are. Guess what? You wake up every morning and you're breathing. You can see the sunrise and sunsets. Okay. The other thing is, it doesn't matter. Do you know what? Ditch the labels, ditch the size labels. If you're a size 18 and you're a 16, but you have to go into an 18 clothes, if that label's affecting you, cut it off. You don't have to look at the label, right? Simple as that. The other thing is, look at yourself, get some plenty of sleep, look at your diet. And that's really, really important. Sleep, diet, drink, exercise. I think that's covered the 5. And then if you need more support, I go back into root causes, why it's happened. I do it in a fun way. Life's doom and gloom as it is. We'll have fun. If you work with me, you'll have fun, because we'll do it in a nice way, but get the seriousness out of it as well.
Absolutely.
And you'll start loving yourself. I'm guaranteeing you love yourself from the inside out. I've created some affirmation cards purely on the body itself. So it's your parts of the body, and it's, you know, we get the affirmation cards about the universe is looking.
Yeah.
My cards actually tell you about your body. Love yourself, love your body. It doesn't matter what size you are. No diet's going to make you happy. So it covers all those as well.
Quite true, darling. And those are very nice and simple and
It doesn't,
practical things to implement immediately, because I think that's what we should all be doing. Because if we're going to wait on something, we will continue to wait on and put the weight on.
what are we going to wait for? What are we waiting for? Today, it's now. It's now.
Yeah.
It's now. We start now.
Yeah, I think it's very important thing that you stressed on, because a lot of us are caught up in this whirlwind of how should I look, how should I be accepted, I have to reduce, I have to diet, I have to do this, I have to do that, and we are forever wanting to fit in physically and mentally. And I think that's one of our biggest problems today, because there's so much out there, there's so much information that is being thrown at us, where we're being attacked, if I would like to use that word, is that we are confused. The other thing that I feel very strongly about is I've always been a slim person, no matter how much I eat. So that way it is. But as I've grown older, I have realized that putting on weight is a good thing. You know why?
God, because you warm up.
It hides the wrinkles.
Oh, I like that one. I thought you were going to tell me something totally different. That people like to hold on to things.
Yeah. So, because when you become very thin on the face, your wrinkles show a lot. And so I'm quite happy to, and that's why when I look at ladies who are, should I say, voluptuous, curvaceous, plump, right? They don't have wrinkles. You can't see any wrinkles. And I feel so jealous. Like, what the hell? Here's me going for PRP and whatever else.
You don't need to do anything.
Trying to plump up my face so my wrinkles don't show. And there she's sitting over there doing nothing at all and looking so good. Not fair.
Do you know what? We all want to look like somebody else, but we never want to look like us. Yeah. We all have ambitions. Maybe I want to look like, thinking, I want that slim body. Yeah? And you're looking at, I don't want any wrinkles. But guess what? Accept who we are. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Life is wrinkles, stretch marks, lumps.
I think, you're so right, because it's all about how you feel about yourself, the level of sophistication, the level of self-confidence, the level of saying, I know who I am. I know I am the best version of myself. Exactly. I feel so good when I step out of my room. And it doesn't matter if I have a speck of makeup on or not. No. This is me. And I think that's what you're trying to tell people. And I hope you're succeeding. I think we're running out of time. And so I'd like you to wrap up. As I said, you already gave us those 5 pointers, but can you just give me 3, because 3 is the favorite number for me. Okay. So just 3 things to get started today.
Today, eat, drink, sleep.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what? Have that physical touch with your skin to skin, and just shut your eyes and say, I am me. I love me. I am enough for me.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. And if people are having difficulty in, saying this to themselves, and they want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Right. So my website's due to go live in the next couple of days. It's minakumari.com, or you can find me on Instagram, minakumari_body confidence coach.
Okay, wonderful. And on the other hand, I have to tell everybody that if you can't find Mina, all you have to do is get in touch with us at Celestia. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn too. And
Ooh,
so drop us a line, let us know how we can help you because we are growing our community all over the world. We are truly international and we'd like more and more people to join us, to support us, and have people like Mina who contributes to our well-being and our, what should I say, peace of mind and makes us feel good already, although we haven't really had a session with her. But I hope that all of you listening today are going to take away some great pointers. And thank you very much, Mina, for
thank you
being
for
with us
having me.
today. And I would have loved to know more about it. So maybe we'll call you back sometime and have
Lovely.
a better and a more detailed chat on how we can go about this. Thank you very
100%.
much.
Thank you
God
so
bless.
much. Thank you. Take care. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Take care, darling. God bless. And to all of you out there, God bless. Remember, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to hear from you. So drop us a comment. We are growing our community, but we can't do it without you. So please help us. Take care and bye for now.